good example, like if you're having a rut and you're soloing, for me when I was soloing, I only like when I was practicing jazz in high school, I didn't just practice what like I had to practice, right? Like I also practiced what I was hearing. Like for me, coming from an artist background, like a visual artist background, like when I was like 6 years old, I saw Dragon Ball Z for the first time, and I wanted to draw. So because I love Goku so much, I kept drawing Goku. I wanted to recreate my own version of what I liked, right? So when I got into music, it was the same feeling. If I hear Charlie Parker play something, I want to make my own Charlie Parker. So I'm learning how to play the things that I like about Bird. I'm not just caring about the chord changes, about what I didn't really know anything about chord changes. I would just play what I thought was Bird because I want to have my own version. Because I was like, man, this is really cool. This is really nice. This feels cool. Like, don't make it such a task. Use your imagination. You got to use your imagination. Imagination is the most important thing in jazz, especially in 2023. It is the absolute most important thing. You got in 21st century, in the 2020s, going forward for the rest of your life, you need your imagination. You need your imagination. Yeah, everybody sounds the same. Yeah, well, there's a reason why. It's because everybody's playing changes. Like, yeah, changes is cool, but like, you're not playing sounds. The first Bix Beiderbecke back in the 1910s, not even 20s, 1910s, he heard the original Dixieland Jazz Band, and he wanted to imitate the sounds that Nick LaRocca was making on the cornet. His racist behind. Whatever. He didn't know he was racist. Who cares? But that's not the point. The point is that he imitated the sounds. He thought it sounded cool, so he imitated the sounds. There's nobody imitating sounds. Are people afraid of sound? All I hear people want to do is this kind of thing. Like I hear I want to stop hearing this. I want to. Can we stop doing this? Everybody plays that. I don't hear. Ain't nobody playing sounds. It's just like. Every alto player sound. Like, I'm not trying to call any specific person out. I'm just saying, like, we have this thing of, like, wanting to play just super clean, like, with no sounds. No sounds, Like, nobody wants to get wild with it. People are too afraid to do that. Because I don't even think it's that they can't do it. I think it's that they've never been encouraged to do it. And second of all, not only have they not been encouraged to do it, but they also, like, don't want to do it. It's both. But, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't like to think that, like, people are just being ignorant and just, like, malicious. I don't think people are bad. I just think they're not being encouraged. Like, because people think it's corny. I just saw something the other day that I didn't know I would ever see. I didn't think this was a thing. But one of my favorite electronic music artists is Telephone Tel Aviv, because my buddy Stefan hit me to them like 12 years ago. And they're one of my favorites ever. I love them. Yeah, the Telephone Tel Aviv posted a tweet. I don't know exact words, but basically he was saying, do you avoid writing melody in your song? Do you avoid melody because you think it's cringe, or are you doing it because you don't know how to do it? I was like, people think melody is cringe? And he's an older cat. He's like in his 40s, so like, he even he's using that language. I guess he's trying to get hip too. I don't like using the word cringe, but he was just like, are you avoiding melody because so he's talking about the electronic music world. He's not talking about jazz. This isn't jazz. He's talking about electronic music. And then there was a bunch of replies. Apparently it was a very hot topic. Apparently it was like a real thing that people dealt with in EDM, which I didn't realize was the thing. And somebody was like, yeah, I do tend to avoid melody. Like, you called me out. I do tend to avoid melody because of the cringe factor, but sometimes I was like, dang. So this is a thing. So it reminded me of the fact that I feel like a lot of people stay away from the blues. Who, if you didn't grow up in black culture, you didn't grow up in the church, you probably think the blues is wild. You probably associate the blues. You probably so many people from the suburbs who didn't grow up with the blues or kind of soul music. They go to a jam session and they think they associate the blues with somebody standing out more than they should. How many of y'all feel that way? How many of y'all in the chat have felt like you don't want to play wild, you don't want to play the blues, you don't want to play that kind of stuff, or you do want to play the blues, but you don't want to play like that dirty blues. You don't want to play that stuff because you don't want to seem too loud. You don't want to seem too in the way. You're self-conscious about your sound. You don't want to like be that annoying guy. You want to look cool. So you play the softer stuff instead because that makes you seem cooler and you feel cool. The reason why I'm saying this is because this is a lot of stuff that we had to go through, when we were in high school, and I experienced this a lot, high school and college. You know, I had to feel this at some point because I thought that's what people wanted. I thought I wasn't allowed to do that. I thought I wasn't allowed to go like, you know. Like, you know, I used to not, in the beginning I wanted to do that. That's all I wanted to do. But then like I wasn't making All-State, and people used to, like my teachers would say stuff like, you know, like this is why you're not making All-State, blah, blah, blah. They want that clean white sound. They want that. I heard that straight up. I'm not going to say who said that, but they said that. So, you know, you got to ask yourself, how many people out there have contributed to that? You have other people tell me not to do it. Your teacher told you the blues is cringe. This is what I'm talking about. It's an epidemic. So because of that, you get all these corny behind players just doing the same thing over and over again with no originality because nobody's playing sounds. Nobody's playing sounds. You got, again, everybody playing freaking like, you know. I can do that, but I don't want to do that because I've had to learn how to do that. I know how to do it. It's easy, you know, but can you do this though? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's put your imagination into it. Like you gotta hear what do you want to do? What you trying to do? You know, so it's about imagination. Whatever you can imagine, you can play. So you got to figure out what do you like about your favorite players and imitate that. It might even just be playing fast. Okay, I like the way he plays fast. Okay, well then practice playing fast. That's cool. Whatever. I don't care. You know. But you know, what about, okay, you like the way he plays high, trumpet players, you like playing high, okay? Play high. Do it. Do whatever that's your entryway into jazz. I like how he plays loud, okay? I like Paul Desmond because when he plays soft, okay? Do all of that. Don't just be like, oh, I'm transcribing this solo so I can learn how to play over a chord. That's BS. Don't do that. Transcribe to understand, yes, how his solo logic, learn his solo logic, but also get everything else from him because you're not going to get it otherwise. Nobody's teaching you that. You got to, if you want to get your own sound, you got to copy other sounds that sound good until you can figure out, you know, because I think people, this is the big problem I have, right? The big problem I have with a lot of jazz in the direction that it's going, especially education, is that for years we've been under this mirage that you need to sound original and focus on sounding original. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean to you? I personally think that if you're in the business of playing music, you're in the business of sounding good. That means that everything that you like is what is original to you. The focus should not be on being original. The focus should be on sounding good. That's my take on it. That's my opinion. You know, it's not fact, but that's my opinion. That's what I think it should be. If I have my own Patrick Bartley Institute of whatever, you know, if I get enough money for that, you know, I believe that we should be focusing on sounding good, not, you know, and the originality comes from sounding good. No one even sounds original. Exactly. Yes, that's the point. If you sound, what makes you want to play music? Are you playing music because you just thought about it one day? Who here was born and all of a sudden you just get this premonition? I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing all these sounds. Like you never heard music in your life, but you're 13 and all of a sudden you're just like, what's that? That's a saxophone? I need it. Put it in my hand. Wait, I don't know. I'm feeling something, divine presence. I can all of a sudden play the saxophone. What? How are you doing that? what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I've never played the saxophone before, but all of a sudden I sound like this person. I don't know what it is, but this is just, there's nobody is the reincarnation of what, like, you heard music before. It's not random. You didn't just randomly one day wake up and now you can play music. You heard music. You probably heard a saxophone player that you like. And so you want to play music. So I don't get how you can ever be trained or told to hear a saxophone player and then purposely not sound like him. It's kind of ridiculous. You're making life harder on yourself. Like, how can you hear a saxophone player and then be like, okay, now I'm just gonna practice my skills and that's it. Oh, in order for me to sound like this, in order for me to sound good, I just practice my skills. Like, bro, no, you got to know what sounds good. If you don't know what sounds good, you need to learn how to sound good. It's almost like, again, the analogy I love making is imagine getting all the tools and spices and pans, pots, whatever to cook, right? You're getting all these things to cook. And you want to cook, you know what I'm saying? You want to make like a beef stew or something, but you ain't never seen beef stew in your life. You just got the ingredients. You saw it once and you're just like, oh, I want to make a beef stew now. But I got the tools. I learned how to cut. I learned how to, if you ain't never tasted it, how you going to learn how to do it? If you don't have an image that you're going for, it's going to be your beef stew because you eventually over time, here's a good analogy for y'all. How many people's first cooking experience was cooking an egg? How many of y'all scrambled an egg as the first thing you cooked? Okay, so you cooked the egg, right? You probably tasted eggs before because you like eggs for breakfast. Okay, so now you're going to make some eggs. And what do? You learn it based on how your mom or your dad or your grandma or whoever, auntie, cousin, whatever, they teach you how to do it. They teach you and they give you a specific amount of salt and pepper, whatever. So that's how you learn how to do it. You learn how to do it that way. Okay, now you learn what makes this taste good. You're not just doing it on your own. You learn how to make this thing taste good. Okay, so you learn how to make this thing taste good. Now, over time, about a year goes by and you've been making eggs. You're kind of tired of playing it the same way. So, or playing it. You're kind of tired of making it the same way. So, eventually, your taste buds start changing. You're just like, I think I might want to put a little more black pepper. I like the pepper in there. I really like the black pepper. I realize that I really like black pepper. Let me put a little more pepper in there. So, you see, that's your new ingredient. You put a little more pepper. Oh, wait. I've not only eggs, but you know what I'm saying? I also ate some sausage with the egg. Oh man, what if I cook the eggs in like the sausage fat or something? It's funny as a vegan talking about this, but I grew up in the South, so this is what I'm thinking. So you know what I'm saying? Like you eat something else. That's your new influence. Now you're just like, oh, this sausage has some garlic in it. Oh, what if I put garlic and put it in the eggs? Oh man, now this is a whole dish. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is how you need to be playing music. I don't know a single person that's just like, I went to the grocery store, saw an egg, and now I'm just gonna put it in the stove and hope something works. I'm gonna practice my frying skills. I'm gonna practice my seasoning skills. Nah, MF, you learn. I like the way this tastes, so I'm gonna season this how I like it to taste. If you listen to Charlie Parker and you like the way he does, like, for me, one of the things I like about Bird is how he does something like this. Like, I like that kind of like high sound that Bird does, like. I like that. I love that type of like, I like that type of like. So if I like that sound, I'm gonna try to throw that sound in everything that I play. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's the sound. I like that sound, so I'm gonna imitate that sound. I'm just gonna play that sound because it sounds good and it feels good to me. I'm gonna play that transcription over and over and over again till I figure out what I like about it. Like, like even though I have perfect pitch, it doesn't matter. Perfect pitch don't help you. Perfect pitch don't help you sound good. Perfect pitch just helps you identify the notes. So if because even though I have perfect pitch, I didn't know anything about music at 13. So say I'm transcribing, and now I figure out, oh, this is what he's doing. I like that. Let me keep doing that. Let me find other solos where he's doing that. And you just keep playing the solos. It's going to happen naturally. It's okay. And then you find like, oh, well, blues has these chord changes. Bird likes to play this on these chord changes. Okay, I'm going to play this thing. So eventually you're going to play that one line and you're going to and you might hear like, oh, I heard Kenny Garrett for the first time. Oh, I can hear that like some of the stuff is present, but it's a little different. I'm going to play a Bird lick, but I'm going to go higher this time because I want to do that. Like now you're mixing and matching things that sound good to you. That's how you improvise. But people are so obsessed with like learning the right notes that they don't care about the sounds. I got to catch up with chat right now. Closest you can get to original are outsiders who have no music training and no real influences. Yeah, it's like it's like the opposite end, right? Either being in a vacuum, right? Like or doing nothing but copying people. Those are like the two extremes. But I think actually playing jazz exists in the middle of both of those things. Cuz you got to have a sense of adventure. Cuz yeah, the way you're going to sound good, the way you're going to sound original is by taking risks. You have to try, but to me taking risk is always based on a foundation of what you like. You're not going to play anything you don't like. I would hope you're not playing anything you don't like. If you're playing stuff you don't like, then you better be making money with it. Like, I've done a lot of gigs I don't like. I still to this day sometimes do gigs I don't like if I need the money. But you gotta play what you like. You gotta play what you like. So you gotta listen. You gotta listen to cats. First of all, you gotta listen to cats, and it's not just listening to cats to get changes. You gotta listen to cats to get sound inspiration. Gotta get sound inspiration. People aren't talking about this, man. You gotta get sound inspiration. So if you get that, then you good. Honestly, you get that, then you good. But yeah.